Good, good. Well, let's get right into it, I guess. From West Africa to Brazil, through slavery and oppression, a beautiful art form of defense was born. Um, what if I told you this art form was used, martial arts form was used in order to gain freedom for the slaves that got sent from West Africa to Brazil? This art form is called capoeira. I have studied capoeira now for about 10 years. My son has been in it for about 4 years. I study at a place called Oficina de Capoeira. I'm not as active as I used to be, but I've been studying it for quite some time though. I know a lot about the history of it and everything. Capoeira can provide health and exercise for self-meditation and personal growth. Um, Today I hope to inform you and give you a better understanding of capoeira's unique story and personal growth. I will give insight to capoeira's historical origins, basic movements, in-game, and many benefits for the mind, body, and soul. Capoeira has an interesting origin and evolutionary story. According to Wanowski's journal article, Professionalizing Capoeira 2012, once a weapon of the weak, informally learned by male slaves on the streets of Brazil and outlawed by Brazilian authorities, now capoeira is taught in schools, it's taught in health clubs, dance studios, all across Brazil and the whole world. I mean, I know it's gone even as far as to England, and it's everywhere now compared to back then. Although it's not always been that way, or not always been the case. According to McCain in the website article Capoeira, The History of the Afro-Brazilian Martial Art, 2006, Capoeira was invented by runaway slaves and developed full-grown within the slave trade from Angola, Africa. McCain also shares its movements derived from the struggles of shackled slaves, and its musical components were devised and disguised for preparation of battle. Like, they used the dance as a way to hide it from the slave owners, so that way they wouldn't know they were practicing to win their freedom. According to Holloway in the journal article named A Healthy Terror, Police Repression of Capoeira in the 19th Century Rio de Janeiro, published in 1989, the formal criminalization of capoeira happened in the year 1890. So now that you know a little bit about capoeira's history and background, um, let me get into its acrobatic movements and the things that require balance. The game itself is full of big gymnastic-y type movements. It doesn't always provide that. Like, there's something called regional capoeira. A regional capoeira is like very extravagant, flamboyant movements where everyone, okay, how the game starts is, it's kind of like breakdancing, if you could compare it to that, like a big circle of people, two people get in the middle, music's involved, and the pace of the game is set to the music. There's regional capoeira and Angola capoeira. Regional capoeira, like I said, it's big, wide movements. You almost give the other person space to do like backflips, cartwheels, things of that nature. Where Angola capoeira is very close up and personal. You're in each other's space. You're almost like working off of each other's movements. The whole game is set, like the pace of the game, it's called the jogo, is another word they use for the game. The pace of it is controlled by something called the berimbau. It's like a one-string guitar. I wore a necklace so that you guys could kind of see what like it looks like. That sets the pace to the whole game. And when it is regional capoeira, the pace is very fast. Everyone's moving quick. When it's Angola, it's very slow, and like, you know, the form of it is completely different. And a lot of the movements take place where like, it looks like shackles being on your hands, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the movements, their hands, you know, to stay close together with one another. Capoeira is proven to have a multitude of health benefits as well. It can provide you with a better cardiovascular system. Obviously, if you're doing, the main movement to capoeira is something called the ginga. The ginga, you just go like this, back and forth. And then that sets the whole pace to the whole game. So you do that repetitiously as the box step of the game, and learn how to throw in kashada kicks, shizoras, and how it usually, well, that's a movement that can drop people to the ground. And how the game usually works is when two people are in it doing the movements, occasionally you'll like trip the other person, and then it's like sportsmanship, you know, you give them a handshake, smile, and then two new people get in. Capoeira has proven to have multiple health benefits as to your balance. Like, before I did capoeira, I couldn't do a handstand for longer than 3 seconds. Now I can do them, oh, well, I don't know how good I'd be right this second, but I have done them to where you can handstand on one hand and balance your whole body on one hand. Like, you'll gradually get better at your overall balance of things. It can have a calming effect, like a serenity or inner peace, a spiritual effect, where people like, some people take it serious in that regard, like the spiritual aspect. There's no, it's not a religion, there's no like God of capoeira or anything, but because of its roots in slavery and oppression, it tends to have some people, especially from Rio de Janeiro, who take the game very seriously. Whereas like it being taught as a sport worldwide, people do it for fun. Let me see. Thanks for listening to my speech on capoeira. I hope it was insightful. Today I've taught you a little bit about the history of capoeira, the origins of capoeira, the movements of capoeira, the health benefits, and hopefully this will draw at least one of you a little bit closer to want to study what capoeira has to offer personally and get closer to this beautiful art form. Thank you so much.